is up, everyone? Welcome back to the 2023 NADGT Zanfel Premier Tour, Oregon, presented by Min Discs, presented by Gatekeeper Media. Shout out to them for doing the coverage. I am Peter Artman for commentary, joined by my co-commentator, Cory Jones.
What's happening, everybody? Looking forward to checking out Fairway Media coverage here of the back nine, the end of the round here at Blue Lake. Beautiful course. We got Christina, Sierra, Ashley, and Gabrielle all battling it out and showcasing this absolute gem of a property.
Yes, yeah, it's been a little treacherous on the putting green, but a lot of good scrambles, a lot of good shots. And let's see how we do here. Hole 10, 295 feet, R3, looking to be just a slight bend to the right. And looks like they're all doing the left to right Annie shot and getting a little low, but let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, this one has like a little bit of a right to left. It's one of the more straightforward holes on the course. But as you'll see, if you haven't already, go back and check the first part of the round, the front nine, and you'll see that it's a pretty reoccurring theme out here at Blue Lake that there is just OB everywhere. So you can see the basket now to the right side there. It's going to be pretty much on the line of the OB, and that one, if it drops, could be friendly, but that's really kind of flirting with that OB line on the right.
Yeah, Christina had a rough start there. Might be good for par, and just getting out of the OB there for Sierra.
We have Ashley lining up here, probably looking to throw something kind of slow speed, let it turn over and fall, and that's looking pretty nice as long as it stays short there. Again, that OB is just everywhere out here.
Yeah, I think I might have seen like a dandelion. I was like, was that the OB stake? I couldn't tell, but yeah, any grass is bad that is not mowed.
Thumbs up from Gabrielle. She liked it. And yeah, you can see there are just flags everywhere. And it's hard to see from the coverage, but directly behind the pin there, water just drops straight down into water. So that's one that you have. And you'll see, I was going to say, you'll probably see some players laying up from this angle because you can just find yourself without your putter for the rest of the round if it gets down there and adding a stroke because there's maybe 8 feet between the pin and the line.
Yeah, you do not want to lose your go-to putter halfway in between Blue Lake.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to lose it any time, but especially when, as you heard in the first part, these ladies are playing for between like $5,000 and $10,000, a Pro Tour card so they can get into the Pro Tour events, and even potentially kind of like a shortcutted route into becoming a pro and potentially getting a sponsorship.
Yeah, a lot on the line. And on to hole 11.
Pause.
Yeah, I'm hearing no audio.
Of this?
Like no, I heard no chains, no nothing.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny? I was just going through the motions.
Maybe it's the record.
I think it's the recording because there was audio at the beginning of the video.
Okay.
So I just didn't know if that's why I was like, hey, just heads up. No, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't necessarily need the audio, right? As long as we can see the shots. I just wanted to let you know that I was like, there was no audio on that hole whatsoever.
Okay. Sorry. Picking up at 310. In 3, 2, 1.
Now, this could potentially be the hardest hole at Blue Lake. I don't think most people would argue that. You're going to see, it's kind of hard to, you can almost see like a power tower in the back right there, just kind of jutting up above all the trees you're seeing. But this is like the most crucial placement shot on the course. There is a literal walking bridge that is surrounded by OB, and you need to play across that walking bridge. You can almost see the opening to it on the right side of your screen there. But outside of that, again, this entire part of the fairway lined with OB, you are then squeezed down to an actual walking bridge and then shooting into a heavily wooded green that also has OB on either side. And I would say that I think most people that have played the course would rate this the hardest on the course.
Yeah, this hole is pretty rude. And I definitely would love to know who designed this hole because of how interesting it is to way that, you have to go up and over all these shrubs to get into a new fairway. It's an interesting hole. I mean, yeah, we'll see how it plays out here. But looks like everybody got some pretty good first shot placement.
Yeah, course designer, who hurt you? We're sorry.
What?
Do you need a hug?
There we go. Just avoiding the main obstacle there for Christina.
And where that disc just landed is pretty much optimal. If you don't have the power to get up and over, and really, even if you do, it's really just a spray and pray. You're hoping that you get somewhere playable from that point, but if not, you need to find yourself in that right-hand corner up there at the very end of the fairway to have any kind of look at the next attack. And Gabrielle is really going for it there. Looks like she was trying to push over the bridge with that shot.
Save her.
And you can now kind of see the opening there on the right-hand side of the screen. You're going to see Ashley probably going over based off the angle she's lining up on, because it's grown in pretty heavy. So yeah, she's going up over the top of that, but that's really your only visual of where you need to be landing. Off the tee, it's just almost playing a hole without a basket and then trying to find your way to the next fairway.
Yeah, and she was happy, just no OB. Good.
Yeah, that is 100% really all you can ask for. Anything above and beyond that is just good fortune.
And Christina looks like she might be aiming for the just straight low line. Might be, and that's the consequence.
Yeah, the unfortunate late release. But you can see there's that walking bridge I was talking about, and it is not much wider than that bridge. And once you do get up into the fairway, as you're going to see, once we do get a chance to approach up there, many trees on the left-hand side lining the route to the basket. There's OB in its entirety down the right-hand side.
So Gabrielle was a little pinched off, so she kept it low, and looks like Christina's doing the same, just to make sure on the err on the side of caution.
And we're just now getting the first looks at the basket there, kind of right hand of center of your screen. But you can see how wooded everything is on the left, including even some of these guardian trees. Ashley throws through that very well and is going to have probably the best chance at a putt there for sure that you can get. But again, yeah, this is by far one of the, if not the hardest hole on the course.
Yeah, all of them looked really pinched off at this tree. They all kind of coincidentally landed in the same area, just following each other.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it has to do with when you are getting through that first tunnel gap. That's kind of like your first focal point visually, is that's what you're going to see. And you know that if you go too far left of that, you're stuck in some really tight woods. If you go too far right of that, you're back in the OB. So I think a lot of players kind of, even maybe subconsciously, just aim for that as a gap.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of see with all the dirt right there. It's all beaten in from probably all the other upshots from the past.
And that may have looked like a miss, but I'm going to say that I think that was a smart layup, because again, you can see the flags just encircling the entirety of the green, and it's not hard to find your way too far past it. That was a good bid there.
One bad roll away.
100%. And it doesn't often translate into film very well, but it does slope down towards where Gabrielle is standing. You can see she's almost kind of having an uphill stance even that close to the pin, so it is very easy to have your disc just get up and walk away from you there.
There you go. Good conversion for a double bogey, but hey, getting off the hardest hole.
Yeah, a 6 on this hole is literally nothing to shake a stick at. You're going to see a lot of players doing that or worse. So getting even a 5 here for Ashley, that's a great score on this hole.
Yeah, pushing a triple.
Awesome.
Just one more tap in and on to the next.
Yeah, just get that one out of your memory and find your way to the next hole, hole 12, 400 feet. And the biggest threat on this one, as you can see, is just that gap off the tee. You are going to see OB left and right, and oftentimes they actually line this gap with OB left and right. I don't see any flags right now, so I'm not sure if that's how they're playing it for this particular event. Events I have played here in the past do play OB on either side of that. Once you get out into the field, you're going to have a pretty open run at the basket, but it is kind of guarded when you get up there. There's going to be quite a lot of little sticks and stuff that you got to get around. But again, yeah, the main focus on this one is just get up the gut and find your way in the fairway.
Yeah, really, it's just the start and the end.
Yeah, everything.
Biggest worries right there, your first tree available, and then right at the basket, basically jail.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of the summary of this hole. Just aim for that field, and you're good. Looks like Christina might have peeked out of it, but we'll see there. She's unsure of how her lie will be. Ashley looking a little tucked away.
Yeah, just right up, nestled up along that OB, and
look at that jail.
Yeah, there is a lot to work with, and at 400 feet for a par 3, like it's going to be tough regardless of your skill set. And The nice thing is nobody hit first available. Most everybody found their way into the fairway. That one's going to be a little low. But it's definitely one of the more attackable holes once you are out of that initial gap.
Right. Yep, catching some of that, some of those jail bars. See if she can make her way through the bristle. Gabrielle with a pretty open shot.
A little standstill.
Hey, I got a par.
Just do her little normal attack and looking like she'll have a good look for par.
Yeah, that seemed to kick right back towards underneath the pin. And again, you'll see once we get closer and the camera's up there, like just how much you do have to work around. So that's a very fortunate framed up.
At the Tower Disc Golf
Have a good
Academy,
line, but
we believe
slow
in
right.
adding power to the player to level up their game. That's why
So put that one to bed and move on to the next hole. You can see the other ones are going to be all pretty straightforward. Everybody got pretty fortunate on their approach into there.
From
Yeah, looks like I guess Ashley had
to drills,
the early OB
to mental game,
in the
and
NC
much
flag
more,
for it, but
all
looks
to
like
give you the
double
power
bogey,
to
that's
grow
why.
as a player.
Yeah,
Grow
you can
your
see when her
with the
second
power
shot was
of
that
the
close to the OB line. That is a pretty common thing. Blue Lake, it's got the OB.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget it.
Arby's has the meat, Blue Lake has the OB. I don't know if you can call Arby's meat, but
It's something.
it's roast beef flavored newspaper.
You know the voiceover guy is Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction?
I did not know that.
Yeah. I had to joke about that for a while. I was like, they should change it to Arby's.
If you need
They're just saying she's gonna look like a bitch. And why are you eating like one?
All right, here we are, hole 13, 625 feet. This one is basically straightforward, but you can see the OB kind of pinches the fairway at a couple different points. That is headed OB and has found its way out of bounds. But as is a common theme here on the course, it's really about your placement. I mean, most players, regardless of what field they're playing in, don't have 625 feet. So it's really about just kind of carving this one up with as little damage as possible.
Yeah, really close to that OB. She's going to have a tough second shot with that mound of thorns, I believe. It's going to be right in front of her. And if you can kind of notice, it's easier to see in person, but it is kind of slanted into those thorns. And
Absolutely.
that's why it's a little tough when you're throwing just the ooh, and then, yeah.
Looks like that hit the little pad and jumped into the OB.
Yeah, but yeah, it slants a little bit, so you almost got to put a small angle on it if you don't have the distance to get past that, the hump of thorns we see up in front of us.
When it looks like it's a relatively calm day for the players here today, but it is kind of like a prevailing right to left wind on this hole if there is any wind, so it tends to want to push your stuff towards that. This one is also going to be kind of flirting with it. Seems to be short though.
Oh, that's tickled. Looks like not there though. See, actually with a blind shot. Hopefully a good rip. Oh, really held on to it a little too long, but a
Fortunate
lucky kick
though,
out.
yeah, very fortunate.
Lucky kick out. Wow. Thank Jesus for that one.
Absolutely. Tree giveth and the tree taketh away, and this time the tree has giveth.
Yes, they've paid their dues. It's like, yep, good blind shot. Get back in the fairway here. And flirting again, but looks like I think that's out of the range of OB.
Yeah, and I think up in that corner, the flags are a little bit further back. Yeah, and it may open up at the very end of it there. There's still OB on the left where you just saw the spotter jump out, but once you kind of clear the end of that, you're usually pretty safe. And that will change from event to event. That's why they're not like permanent, stakes or anything of that nature. But looks like, yeah, she stayed safe on that one.
See her with a straightforward shot.
Great attack at it.
Yeah, right there. Great scramble.
So yeah, as you can see, Ashley standing in that to play it. As you may or may not know at home, you cannot stand out of bounds to play, so that would definitely indicate that she is in bounds there. Everybody looking to just get it close and call it a day on hole 13. Right up under there.
It's a little low, attacking the basket as usual. And looks like we got some cleanups here. Fortunate double bogey, but staying alive.
The OB will do that to you, and Blue Lake has it in spades.
Finishing out. Big shout out, by the way, to Gatekeeper Media. If you didn't know, this is their format, and taking beautiful quality footage. And yeah, if you don't know, go check them out. But yeah, big shout out to them hooking up Fairway Media.
Absolutely. And here we are moving on to another par 5, 930 feet. This one's pretty straightforward. You have a lot of room to work with. There's going to be, again, far left, far right does have some OB. This one actually has a couple of very large patches of OB in the center of the fairway. So you're going to want to be getting around those, whether it's to the left or the right. It is basically a straight line to the pin, but that large tree you see in front of you and stuff, there's a couple of, like I said, almost like OB lakes, so to speak. They're dry and full of trees instead of water. So this one, you have the option to go left, go right. I think it's best played if you find your way out to the left side of the fairway, so you're not dealing with the tree line on the right or the OB. That being said, there is OB on both sides, so we'll just have to see where these players end up and what angle they're going to take on their approach shots.
Yeah, could have said it better. Looks like we got some good middle shots and taking your advice.
Yeah, the left side of the fairway is much more open on this. And again, you can play the right side of the fairway, which probably gives you a little bit of a shorter route, but you're then throwing tunnel shots between OB patches and the OB tree line on the right. And, you know, all is a lot easier played when you have more room.
Yeah, no, as we said before, it's all about the setup more than the getting close.
100%.
Yeah. Good rip, getting a little right, keeping himself in a little bit of the cabbage, have a maybe obstructed view. Christina playing in the safe route. Staying to the left.
Yeah, you can play the entirety of this hole down the left side, but when you do get to the end, you're then throwing nearly 90 degrees to your right towards the OB. The pin does kind of lay a little bit right of center, so to speak, from like the tee pad area. But again, it's just you can see how much these players are having to deal with when they're on the right-hand side of the fairway, as opposed to Christina, who was playing the left side of the fairway and was just wide open with every shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of a pick your poison sort of thing. Yeah.
100%.
You're able to get up all over it, but yeah, it seems like more action on the right side. See some of the treacherous shots being done.
Well, I'm not sure of how they're playing OBs in this particular event, but those kind of like trees or bushes or whatever that they're throwing over and Gabrielle kind of threw just in front of, that's traditionally one of the OB patches, is that entirety with all those trees in it.
At the very end?
At the end. That's
okay.
The second of the two. There's two that are about that size in the middle of the fairway. I don't see flags or anything, so they may just be playing it as is for this event. But that is traditionally how the course is played. And once you get up to that tree that you can see Ashley throwing a nice flex shot at, that's pretty close to the pin there. That's kind of indicating you've found your way to the end of the fairway there.
It's a sign of hope.
Little ray of sunshine in your day at Blue Lake.
Yes. And a good arc shot over all the shrubs from Gabrielle.
Yeah, really working those forehand scramble shots. And again, if you haven't watched part 1, front 9, you'll see that she really dials that in. And again, thanks to Gatekeeper for getting Fairway Media out here. It's always a pleasure to get to see and commentate on golf out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest.
Sierra with a good run, a little short.
Good safe bid there. Just off the front for Ashley there. Very close, though.
Mustard on that.
And this is a long course. Lots of throwing. You can definitely get some fatigue in there, especially when you have, it may not be brought up a lot, but mental fatigue is a thing. And like these ladies have a lot on their mind for what they're playing for right now. So
yeah, and on the kind of the home stretch, you really are very decisive. And like you said, mental cardio, mental endurance can really play a lot when it's always hard to, you always say, hey, shake it off. But you always kind of have one hole in your head that's getting to you.
And Blue Lake has about 18 of those holes.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Here we are, hole 15, another par 4, 780 feet. Again, OB lining left and right. It opens up a bit in the middle. You can kind of see some spectators or spotters there at the end of the fairway. That's where the hole starts to turn left pretty heavily, and then again has more OB and some trees to deal with. So realistically, you just want to find your way somewhere up towards where those spectators and fans and or spotters are standing, and then kind of approach from there. This is another very important placement shot, but there's plenty of distance before you get there.
In first impression of this hole, it looks nice. You think, hey, maybe I got away from all of it. But then as you get through that turn, that's when it's like, oh yeah, I am still at Blue Lake, and it narrows down.
100%.
You still got the rudeness of all the OB. It's it can be deceptive your first time playing.
Yeah, and for basically from about 11 on, I feel like that's really that's the hardest stretch of the course. And so not only are the holes themselves hard, but again, you're coming to the end of kind of a hike. It's a long course. I want to say it clocks in over 60, like over 6,000 feet or whatever. Like it's a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the overall par is like 69 for the course or something like that.
Yeah. Let's see, 10,000 feet.
10,000. Yeah. 10, see, so yeah, that's a long one.
Yeah. And that's if you just play it as is.
That's if you're able to teleport from pin to pad and not have to walk the rest. So you're getting some steps in, you're getting some miles in, and you're throwing a lot more shots than you would on like a shorter course where it's maybe a drive and a putt. Like you're throwing a drive and a drive and a drive and a drive and a putt on a lot of these holes. So
setups.
Getting to the end of this is definitely, this is where that endurance kicks in. That should be a pretty straightforward approach from there, but again, you can see left side lined by OB. Gabrielle kind of throwing over that and hopefully clearing it, because it does kind of jut out towards the pin.
It's like just skated through the corner right there. Great shot. And that's, ooh, and just shot right down.
That was cooking.
Rude. A rude tree right there. Brought to you by Blue Lake.
That tree taketh.
Yes. And then get out, but might not be consequented by OB.
Yeah, and if it goes a little too far right, you can see that kind of tree line that would keep you from having a straight look at it. Good bid there. But yeah, we're getting to the home stretch here.
You can see fatigue is definitely kicking in. Ooh.
There was no lack of want on that putt.
Yes, that is for sure.
A for effort. Falling a little shy there. Gabrielle looking to come back, make good on that. And this is one of those things where, again, as we said before, the mental fortitude necessary. And sometimes, as you said, sure, shake it off. But I'd be willing to bet none of us know very many players that have been staring down the barrel of a potential $10,000 and a contract and all of that wrapped up into one round. So kudos to these ladies for really giving it their all and just never really giving up, just going for it the whole time.
Like you know, kind of how this whole tournament is encapsulated. You know, it's going from amateur to pro. It's that really, you know, can you stay through the grit? Can you endure it, shake it off, and have a good round? Have you tried these yet?
I haven't.
Interesting. It's like sounds like it's durable, but I'm like, how's the comfort though?
Right.
It's, oh, it's so durable. It's like, that's great, but
Like, so it's a burlap sack, but I don't know that I want to.
Oh, the socks.
oh, grip 6 is where it's at. This would be a great video. You're like, hey guys, look. I'm like, I'm not talking about that, dude.
I'm sorry, I was in the other room smoking weed.
Those are weird socks. All right, hole 16, 850 feet. We are not running out of distance on this one. Again, par 4, OB all over the place. Pretty wide open. You can see that the players are going to have to navigate around a few of these clusters in the middle of the fairway. The real kind of test of this hole happens after you've made it about halfway down. It's going to kind of dogleg a bit to the right and then really pinch down. Another kind of narrowed up fairway leading into a green. A lot of room to work with, but still one of the more daunting holes on the course.
Yeah, kind of like last hole, where you see this, you're like, all right, cool, just another drive, let it be easy. Oh, and then you get around the corner. Welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there we see it start to narrow down a bit.
Yeah, and from there, when it swings to the right, and you can see Gabrielle really trying to get some turnover on that. If it falls down in time, unfortunately out of bounds. But yeah, once you clear what you can see at the end of the camera there, you do have quite a bit to work with. The fairway narrows down. A couple of tree lines near the basket.
Let them bounce.
She doesn't look too upset, so yeah, she should be able to kind of be looking in the direction of where she wants to be throwing her next shot, and then it's again just going to be some placement. It's a good flex. That's getting aggressive. Really trusting the stability to get over that OB. Hard to tell. But the OB really does cut in at that corner.
Yeah, she left it just high enough to give it a chance, so we'll see how it plays out. Good flex line from Christina.
Really going to need that one to get down. That did not make it down in time, but you can see again right there. This is where it really narrows up, and the length of that part of the fairway is long enough that most of these players are not going to be able to clear it from where they are, so it's really going to have to be a placement shot and then push past that from there. You can just now kind of see the basket at the end of that. Little light at the end of the tunnel there.
Yeah. And really for hurry up, just doing the same thing as her last shot, just a little more oomph on it.
Thumbs up.
Did her job. And good placement from Christina, just getting right in front of the path here.
Another thumbs up, so she cleared that. It kind of opens up at the very end where those tree lines are, depending. Based off of where the spotter's standing, they may have even ended the OB at the end of that fairway part. Nice little skip there. Another thumbs up.
Good.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up.
He's loving it. He's got the best seat in the house for this one.
And look at that. Using all that fairway. Staying in bounds.
So this is just natural punishment. No OB there. That's a good out. Great bid.
Yeah. Oh.
What a run.
Yeah.
Gave it the chance. I mean, it was the right height the whole time. Really good effort there. Unfortunately, just a little shy for Ashley there. Catches the front of the cage, knocking on the door. Nobody's home.
Nobody was ready to receive the package.
Gabrielle puts the biscuit in the basket. Good putt there, cleaning up, taking a 5. Confident putt, especially, and that's, to be noted when you're looking at a triple bogey, having that confidence in hitting that putt, that says a lot about a player and their skill set. She trusted in making that putt, and she did.
Yeah.
Here we are, arguably the harder of the par 5s. Hole 17, 950 feet. Looks like she just cleared that. She kind of stayed pretty tight right the whole time. But this one is definitely a lot to work with. This is one of the more wooded distance holes here. If you watch the first round, there's another par 5 that's about equal distance, but nowhere near as wooded as the entirety of this one. And this one kind of ends up in the woods on a hill. So these players are mostly wanting to come out fairly straight. Looks like a lot of them are just trying to play angles to get back to the center. And you can kind of see a crowd up ahead of them a bit, walking through the trees there, and that's leading up towards the basket around that corner. So, as is in most holes on this course, placement is paramount, but this is one that you really, really do not want to find yourself left or right.
Yeah. Looks like even off the, small fairway they got, it's still, has tall grass, not even OB, just, really hard placement here.
Well, and it's kind of hard to see from this angle, and the more we get up the fairway, you might be able to see it more. But there's a lot of like little hills and crevices and stuff all the way up. So sometimes your footing, you might be in a good place visually, but your footing might be a little bit off. So this is kind of one of the more angry holes out there. And again, if you find yourself scrambling like this from Gabrielle, going from right to left to right, it can definitely give you a little extra time to think about what you're doing out here at Blue Lake.
Yeah, you can put in your steps.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, what a hook. And he flexed just to get back in the fairway. Good shot.
And that's about prime position, because again, once you get up to where Gabrielle is, you do have to start to navigate yourself into this tree line. Wow, that one squeaks through. That's gonna be great as long as she's not physically locked up to one of those trees. But again, not only do you have to knock 500 plus feet down before you get there, you're then now basically throwing what would be a very hard par 3 through the woods.
Yeah, it's like the hole starts right here.
Absolutely. It's painful, but it's good pain.
Yeah, helps you grow.
Yeah, if you're looking for a challenge and you're in the Portland area and you want to get some miles on your step counter, find yourself out here at Blue Lake and you will do it.
Yeah, if you want to check your ego, that's a good way to do it. Oh, good flex line, anti-flex. Just need to pan out a bit, but...
And she should be in a pretty okay position as long as she's not behind something again. You can just kind of see the edge of the basket there, and so she'll kind of have a straight up the hill approach as opposed to maybe having to throw at the basket and worry about it rolling down the hill. So sometimes players will intentionally play to that side. And you can see, yeah, that one going wide right is going to be more of a straight approach at the basket.
Yeah, they were finally seeing it. And just a little early, might be have some obstructed putts. And yeah, a little short there, but at least she'll be looking at the basket and hopefully have a safe place for her, if it doesn't work out.
Well, and realistically, as we said, coming down to the end of this round, these ladies are all relatively close, and the way that this course plays, 3 to 4 stroke swings can happen from any player on any hole. So, nobody's really out of contention at this point. And with what's on the line, they are battling for it, and that was a great bid from Gabrielle there. But nobody's out of this race yet, so...
Yep. Yeah, this course can eat 3 players up and one of them come out and win by a stroke. That's the game of disc golf.
Catches it in there. Taking a 6 on this hole, I'd smile and walk away from that one too.
Yeah, definitely. You're just like sweating and saying, God, just get me off here. Yeah, so it looks like we got a 2-stroke difference between Christina and Ashley coming up into the final hole. So, it's we're gonna be kind of looking at them to see what they do. And looks like I spoke a little early to say that Christina took a triple, and so that's putting Ashley in the driver's seat here.
All right, smiles, handshakes, hugs. On to hole 18. This is really what's going to determine the outcome and see who gets what. This hole here, you can see the gap. That was an unfortunate nose down, low release from Ashley there. But again, you want to hit that first gap. You can kind of see at the end there. You make it through that, and then it doglegs hard left, and there's going to be some OB to deal with. I'm not positive about this particular event, but they do often raise that basket, so sometimes it is an elevated basket as well. But regardless of that, this is looking great. If this gets up there, stayed safe.
It's short of the turn, but still a great rip.
Yeah, and ideally you want to clear that corner. If you can't clear that corner, you need to be in a position to do it, and that is going to be rough. It's going to leave a lot left for Christina, and already shooting a 3 from that position. Definitely adding some numbers to the card there.
Yeah, and Ashley with a good shot in the open, taking advantage of that and just being nice and conservative. It's great shots coming down this final stretch.
And you can see they really have to lean out and get as much angle as possible. Hopefully that doesn't roll too far away. That's going to be in a pretty prime position as far as what you're going to be able to see leading up to the basket. Still quite a bit of distance left on this hole.
That didn't stay in the flex line. Let's look at Ashley just getting around the corner to see the basket. She'll have a standstill. Hoping to get through these 2 trees.
And that'll play, and you'll see there is OB again, kind of lining the green there. Once you do get up there, You can see the flags on the right and left side, and it kind of pinches in, but you definitely have more room on the left, just more natural obstacles as you see here. Really ripping a nice little Annie turn through there.
And it looks like she might be, Gabriella's going to be doing a big play here from the OB, or playing over the OB. See if she makes it back in.
Does not quite. And that portion that she was throwing over is right where it extends to kind of create that island style green where you do have just basically a circle of OB around it.
Got Ashley just coming up here to do a nice little nestle in the basket and potentially even secure the win.
Yeah, coming down to the stretch like this is not the time to be a hero unless you're really far out of position, and Ashley's kind of holding the key to the door in her hand right now, so putting yourself in that position kind of forces anybody that's chasing behind you to be the hero. And, you know, if you can force a mistake or just really play your game to the best of your abilities, that's what matters most.
Yeah. In a final run.
What a bid.
Giving it all she's got. Last hole. Gabrielle to close it out.
All right, everybody,
Another
let's
round.
welcome our
Good shot.
Great
FA1
putt.
champion for the Portland Premier, winning a spot in the
Let's see
Disc Golf
these,
Pro
final
Tour League
tackles.
Series. Let's welcome up.
It's been a pleasure to watch these four ladies, you know, give it their all, and kind of getting a chance to watch history made when you get to see some amateur players, you know, working their way towards professionals. So these may be some names we get to see in the future.
Yeah, definitely down the line. It's, I mean, you see how they play and how they've been enduring Blue Lake. I'm sure they'll come back in pro form, and yeah, we'll be seeing them down the line.
And coming back with the hot round of the day, let's welcome up in third place, Mrs. Bailey Van Stipko.
Good round, baby.
That was awesome.
Gotta get you guys to stand first to third. Can we get you guys to stand after the hugs? Stand first to third so we can get a nice picture of the three of
This coverage, you can check out Fairway Media, Don Golf, with some discs and stickers. Any way to support the channel possible is always great, and we'll see you around.